Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, my kids. In our last lesson, we learned about our national anthem, which helps us communicate our Egyptian culture to the world. We learned that different regions in Egypt have their culture and traditions. Do you think that different regions might also have music or styles of music? Of course, music from different regions is different. For example, people who live near the sea or river might sing about water and animals live in water, while people live in the desert might sing about desert and animals live in the desert. So, all communities in different regions share a common national anthem, but they have different music styles. The same is true for art, such as visual arts, poetry, sculpture, and so on. How do you think art is different in different regions? Artistic materials, scenes, and styles can vary greatly from region to another. And this, of course, causes the art to be different. Let's think together. How do you think geography or land of different regions affect the type of art and the music there? For example, if we want to make pottery, what materials do we need? We need clay or mud. We need water. We need paints and tools to make designs. Could you discover where can we find this art? The art of making pottery? Try to think. Very good. We can find this art in Delta, as there is much mud and water that are used to make pottery. In other regions, as desert, we cannot find this type of art, as there is little mud and water. So, as we see, geography or land and its resources of a region affect the type of art. Now, please open your book, page 187, titled Regional Arts and Music, and try to use the clues drawn in each region and the word bank to match the type of art or music with the region. The first region we have here is Sinai. We have here a type of music called bagpipe music. We have also palm leaf handicrafts, or all things made by hands. Also, we have handmade carpets. In this region, here at the end of the Gulf of Suez, at the end of Gulf of Suez, Ismailia, for example, we have a type of music called folk music. Here in the Western Desert, we have palm leaf handicrafts also, like in Sinai, where we can find palm trees. We can find palm leaf handicrafts. Also, we find a type of music called reed pipe music. Here in this region on the Nile, for example, Kenya, we find Asaya dance, a type of music called folk music, and we can find also pottery and textiles. Textiles, where we can find cotton. They farm cotton here, so they can make textiles. Also, the art of pottery, where we can find mud and water. Could you guess how the regional culture communicated outside the region? Great. The regional culture can be communicated through books, images, and online resources. Do you know that when people travel or move from one region to another, they bring their music and art with them in the new place? Sometimes they combine their way with the way of the new region to get something new. Do you remember our friends Noor and Hussam when they created a new tradition celebrating Sham al-Nasim? Today, computers and cell phones bring all parts of the world to us. We no more need to travel to get the culture. We can listen to music and view art from any place in the world. In the past, people were traveling and moving around the world, bringing their culture with them and learning about new cultures in new places. But nowadays, the internet made it possible to share culture instantly around the world. Please turn to page 188 and let's label the countries that border Egypt to the west and south, and label the water that borders Egypt to the north. Here is Egypt. Here is Egypt. Its border of the south is Sudan, and from the west is Libya. The north border is the Mediterranean Sea. We learned about it before. Here we can find countries like Italy, Greece, and Turkey. Do you know that borders and neighboring communities affect culture? For example, if we travel the south to Aswan, we would find towns with colorful houses. And if we keep traveling south of the border into Sudan, we would see similar houses. Also, you can hear Greek music in Delta region as people from the north of Mediterranean have been sailing across the sea to visit or to live in Egypt, bringing their traditions, art, and music with them. So my kids, we can communicate our culture through our art and music. That was the end of our lesson today. See you next lesson. Goodbye, and thank you for listening.